Now let's create some texture for the neck. So let's do the same thing. Let's go ahead and open up a new texture. This time I want to grab this other textures 14.5, which is kind of this material kind of look here. And then I want to go ahead and grab a section of this. And let me go ahead and just grab, I'm going to actually draw out a section that I want. So I think something like that. Let's go ahead and copy it. Go back into our 3D view. Okay, and we can do it in our texture. Let's actually do it in here. So just to show something a little bit different, this is actually the neck, and we're in our texture view. We don't have to go into our 3D view to do that. Just as we did with the skin material, we can go ahead and just paste it into this. Okay, we use the same tool to modify it. Okay, you can see it's actually created a new layer for us. So I can go ahead and kind of scale this down a little bit. We can kind of rotate it a bit, and I just want to kind of place it generally in the right area here. Okay, and now at this point, you can see we're not using projection painting at this point. We're actually just moving this around in our texture. So I can come in now and say, yes, I want to transform. And then I can come in and sort of erase parts of this. So I can come in. And so instead of painting in our 3D view, we're actually painting in our texture view. Okay. And we can change our blend modes. Can come in here, and I think I'm just going to dial down the visibility. Okay. I also want to drag the layer underneath the ambient occlusion. Okay. And then we can, if we want to zoom in on it, we can do that. I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this in the center here. Okay. And then a little bit, erase a little bit coming around the edges. Okay. Now, if we want to duplicate this, we can go ahead and select this, copy and paste it. And then I'm just going to take the edge and roll it over just to create the other side. Move it into position here. Okay. And now I can come in and erase portions of this. You can see it's on its own layer. So I can blend these together. Okay. Now this one is set to 66%, so let's set this one to 66% as well. Okay. And then we can come in and erase parts of it that are overlapping. Okay. If there's parts that we need to add to, we can use our clone. Just remember which layer you're on. Okay. We can come in there and clone. We go ahead and increase the brush size a little bit. And we go ahead and clone right here. Move one down a little bit. Okay, we can take this layer and right click. I'm going to just merge layer down. It's going to merge it so all that detail is on one particular layer. Okay, now we can come in and take the size down and go ahead and blend those edges in a little bit more. Now, without doing any projection mapping or anything, we've added that to our texture. And if we come in here, that's what we see, which is pretty much what we want. Okay, you can still come in here and you can see here that I've got like a bit of the neck that is either part of the neck or it's not. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it part of the neck, so we can come in here and just blend that in. We can still use our erase if we want to here in our 3D view. There's parts that we can see now are not really what we want. You can see it's up here on the bottom of the jaw, which is not what we want. And so we can come in and erase that part out. Stuff like this is not going to be maybe as apparent when you're working from just that texture view. Okay, so instead of projection painting with our images, we can also just drop them into our texture, move them around, copy and paste them, drop them in, rearrange the layers, do some cloning, and add that as part of our texture. So that ends up creating or helping to create the final texture look, and then you can see that here. And painting that particular color helped when we went in to actually create the texture because we could tell where the neck was. Same thing with the abdomen. You can tell where the abdomen is because of how we painted that. All right, so have some fun with that. Try using some different textures. Just drop them into your texture. Remember to have your texture selected here in your texture tab. Copy and paste whatever it is that you want to use, whatever texture you want to use. You can use the transform bitmap to scale it, rotate it, move it around in position. Make sure it's a separate layer. Get it in a position, then you can erase the elements that you don't like, or you can clone elements to different areas. Okay, and that'll all go into creating this final finished texture that we're working on. Okay, so once we've got the neck done, the next thing that I want to do is actually do a little bit of work on some of the scales. So we will talk about doing that in the next lesson.